Now, in honor of Women's Month, we proudly celebrate women as proactive agents of change and social transformation. Women have long been at the forefront of the battle against crime and have played a key role in promoting community safety. Today, we are focusing on the substantial growth of women's participation, especially when it comes to crime prevention within South African communities. Our guest this hour is, of course, Manqele, who's the Gauteng Provincial CPF Executive Deputy Secretary. Thank you so much for your time on the program this hour. So, talk to us about your role in ensuring that our communities understand the importance of safety.
Good morning, Paul, and good morning to the viewers.
Of course, Paul, let's talk about the role that you play in ensuring that our communities understand the importance of safety.
Okay, the role that I'm playing now as I am advocating for women is that we also assist our SAPS in the fight against crime in our communities. We try and empower women, and we organize other organizations and other stakeholders and other substructures in the community policing forum. Structures like the GPVF brigades, women as safety promoters, and men as safety promoters. We also work with the vulnerable groups. The vulnerable groups that includes the communities, the senior citizens, people living with disability, and the people with albinism and the LGBTIQIA+ communities. So we assist in making sure that everyone is represented equally in the front, in the eyes of the law, and everyone feels safe by promoting all these organizations and substructures that falls under CPF.
And Ms. Manqele, I want us to also zoom into the various groups that you actually represent. I want us to talk about where you think we are insofar as ensuring that the various groups that you represent right now are safe in our communities. Where are we in ensuring that all those groups are represented but also are safe in our communities?
Okay. We also work with other stakeholders, like the NGOs. We promote that in churches. We also work with the FBOs that represents that's where all our communities are, most of them. So we also do those programs, the awareness programs in the communities, and we also support the other programs that are done by our NGOs and the other law enforcement that we're working with and the government entities that we're working with.
And I'm sure, Ms. Manqele, your job can be quite challenging at times. So as a woman in such a role, talk to us about the highs and lows that you are faced with.
The highs is that every woman now around Gauteng, we have 145 police stations, and most women now are getting involved in participating and making sure that they play their role in assisting in the fight against crime and gender-based violence. And the lows that we always get is that there are some other women that feels that by coming out on what they're experiencing in their relationships and in their families, they feel that they are intimidated and they are not protected. And sometimes if they go out, they feel that they are being failed by the Justice Department. Not only the law enforcement, but the Justice Department, when they do these judgments on cases that involve gender-based violence, they feel that the law is failing them and it's taking long for the perpetrators to get what is due for them.
And I must say, I actually marvel every time I listen to stories of shapeshifters and women who are really shaping and shifting the different spaces that they occupy, and best so, because the role of woman has always been thought to be that of a nurturer. And I'm sure there's some sort of a shift as you move into your professional role. Just how much of a balancing act is it all?
Yeah, it is a challenging one, but the minute you have a passion of what you do, and the minute you are once being a victim or being affected by these activities, you then get the passion of serving and making sure that no one is not supported by us, and everyone needs to support each other, and we need to play that part, all of us. Bit by bit, we're getting there because now we get the light. And we, with our partners, as we're saying, we are partners with the police. The role that they play with us, it's very, very important, and we can see the difference because of the social crime prevention coordinators that we're working with, the participation and the involvement in the community activities. It makes a very big difference.
And that's a very important point you are making, and that is the point of having all hands on deck. So what type of support, practical support, is needed to ensure that more women become proactive in the fight against all these social ills? And how can communities also become more involved? Communication
and transparency. I think it's the main key that will assist us in making sure that we fight this fight together. And we have organizations like Memeza that assist us in, especially the vulnerable groups, people that lives in the informal settlement, the senior citizens. And we have these personal alarms. And there's this another app that has been opened for us as the communities to also communicate easily with the law enforcement for any assistance. And we also promote the street committees from where we live so that we know each other. We need to know your neighbor. So you need to know how many people that you live with in the household, and you know each and every corner of your street. So by starting with the street committees, going to block committees, the sectors, and to the station level, it's easy now. The information flows because the transparency needs to start from the street, from the house where we live.
And would you say there's gender equality in these social structures? And are we seeing more interest from women raising their hand to say, listen, we want to be part and parcel of that solution?
Yes, there is. Why am I smiling when you're saying that? Last week, we were in Rachel Park in one of our stations in Ekurhuleni. We were amazed that the top 6 of the CPF in that station that we launched last week, it was all women. So you can see the interest of women. If you go to our community patrollers, that is the substructure of CPF, most of the members in that structure are women. So women are coming out now. Women in all corners, they want to be involved. They want to make sure that their voices are heard and they are supported. And definitely it is. As I am advocating for women, I can see this difference. As we are on this election drive of CPFs, more women are now involved, and people with disability are also involved. So we're making sure that every structure is represented. And last week, I was also visited one of our schools in Ekurhuleni School of Deaf. We learned a lot, and you can see the work that women do in making sure that our kids are growing in a safer environment. So we're teaching these kids at a tender age to be involved in participating in their own safety, and making sure that we also give them the information and the gadgets to make sure that they report every little thing that is happening on themselves.
And here's the thing, we are seeing more and more women also come into the space right now, in the safety and security space. A case in point would be yesterday, where we saw, I think it was our reporter Jade Polsa who brought us a roadblock yesterday, which was an all-woman multidisciplinary roadblock that was taking place in KwaZulu-Natal. I want to find out from you, looking at all of this and all of these things that are happening around Women's Month, you know, is transformation really moving at the pace that we wanted to be moving? And are these conversations that can actually move beyond just being rhetoric for Women's Month and something that could be happening 365 days a year?
Yes, there is a very big difference. In Gauteng, in each and every station, every Friday, we have Operation Basadi in August in commemorating the Women's Month. So every Friday, we have these operations that are run by women. So we can see the difference, and we have lots of activities that we do. On the 9th, we also had the shifting pads, that the program that was run by women also in supporting the program, women. So we even decided on that event to say we no longer want this to be only in August, but we want this to run at least every quarter of the year, and we want to push it to be something that is happening every day so that women can be involved and participate. And the more we involve ourselves, the bigger the sound, and everyone can hear that we are here and we are live. So we're supporting each other. We have lots of programs running, and we want to push them until the end of the year and beyond this financial year. We don't want it to end only in August. We want it to run 365, 24/7.
And Ms. Manqele, what would be your greatest plea right now to the various communities that you serve, to say to them, this is what we need from you, this is the help that we need right now?
What we need from our communities and what we taking from what we experienced, we want more men to support us. We're not saying it's only about us, because there are men that need our support also, and they feel that we're not supporting them enough. That is why they are pulling off, because men, most of the time, they don't talk out what eats them, and they act. Instead of that, we want them to also talk. So what we want to do now, we want to make sure that each and every street, because as I'm saying, we work with street committees in making sure that the chain is growing. But with the street committees, men are leading there. We want women also to take part. So we want us as women to support each other. Instead of saying we vote for Olani, we need to always say we vote for Amanda, we vote for Maria, we vote for Pearl. We want women to vote for each other instead of raising the men's voice, because that's what we're also experiencing.
All right, and I also want to know about some of the strides that you have made thus far, because I'm sure there are also so many feel-good stories to come out of the job that you do with the communities.
Can you repeat yourself again?
Let's talk about some of the feel-good stories and some of the strides that you have made as a collective as you continue to serve the various communities.
Oh, okay. The programs that we did and the impact that we made. We have, as I'm saying, there's one organization that I mentioned is part of our stakeholders. The Memeza is run by women. We have Singabantu that is run by women. We have another organization that is a success to us that supports our communities, and it's called Women Are Born to Excel. So those organizations that are run by women and fighting crime, it makes a very difference, and we are so proud to say every corner of South Africa now we want to cover, every corner of South Africa. Memeza is not only working for Gauteng now, it's all over South Africa, it's national-wise, and we want to take this other organizations also to be nation-wide, not only based in one place, because we can see women in all corners now. They are all interested in taking part in making sure that their safety and of the loved ones are all around 24/7, everyone is safe. So the successes that we can share with you is that just go to the link and check on the Safer City. We are there as women, we are leading, and we want to see more women coming up, especially on the CPF side. As I'm saying, I'm so excited with one station in Ekurhuleni that is led by women, especially the top 6. We can make a difference together.
And I tell you what, we all salute you, Izimbogoto. Thank you so much for having this chat with us. That is, of course, of Pearl Manqele, who's the Gauteng Provincial CPF Executive Deputy Secretary. Thank you very much indeed for your insights on the agenda.